Oh, let me know if you can hear me and see me, all of that. Um, yeah. How are you guys doing? How is your day going? Um, we're back. We're back. Comment and let me know who's watching. Um, we're gonna get started. You guys know I don't like to belabor, but I just wanted to come on and share. Um, so yeah, we're back. It has been a while. Again, as I stated in a video last week, um, the Lord didn't tell me to stop the lives. I just took a hiatus of my own, and yeah, so He pushed me back in. But let me know who's watching. Put in the comments who you are and how you're doing. But yeah, so He's been pressing on me to come back out and get back to it and do the work. So here we are. From the title, I'm sure you're like, oh, this is going to be super churchy. Oh, this is going to be. No. This platform, is very free flowing. So whatever comes of it, comes of it. And we just want God to be glorified. I titled it the Jesus Year because, as most of you, or I don't know, some who follow me, some who may not, I turned 33 this year, and the church, the saints love to say, "Oh, this is your Jesus year." Oh, this is the year Jesus was, launched out and the ministry took off. Actually, you know, we get churchy about it, but I don't think we always consider of the depth of the term Jesus year and like what actually happened during the year. And so it took a minute for me to process that. And I'm like, somebody had said that to me a while. They said that for my birthday, and then they kept saying, as months go on, they said, "Oh yeah, you're Jesus here, Jesus here," and I'm like, "What?" Like, okay. And I'm like, then it finally clicked. I'm like, wait a minute, He was crucified. He was crucified. A lot of theologians believe that it was, 33, the age of 33, that around the time where Jesus was crucified. And when we say that term Jesus year, we put a sense of glamour on it when really it's not it's not much glamour to being crucified. Yet we realize the importance and the significance of it. So although it doesn't come with glitz and glamour, it does come with um, necessity. It comes with a necessity. So yeah, so the Urban Dictionary, they give their definition as, oh yeah, the 33rd year is when, you were born, where you were born in some sense, or, um, you have an ego death, or you have a death, or perhaps it's the year where you abandon old ways and you start new ones. There are so many different outlooks on it. Um, but really, if you think about it, this is the time where Jesus was tried for blasphemy, meaning, you're saying something that's against something sacred. You're speaking against something that's sacred. You're speaking against something that is forbidden to speak against. And all he did was tell the truth and say that he was the Son of God. That's it. And one thing I've learned in this Jesus year, and that's why I told somebody when they was like, "Oh, you're Jesus year," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I've been crucified already." Last year, This last year, 32 rather, coming into year 33, I think I've experienced a lot of crucifixion, and I don't think I know. But at the same time, who's to say that there's an end to that, right? I don't know. But with that, I told them, I said, I said, I've been crucified already. I'm good on that. And the Lord was working with me on it, and He was just like, when you think about it, who are we to say, oh, I'll live this life, or I'll live safe, but just as long as nobody touch me, I won't have to go there. Y'all know, y'all heard me say that before. It's easy for me to say, yeah, Lord, I got you, or I can conquer anything else, or conquer, withstand the test of time when it comes to certain obstacles or certain trials. But we have certain stipulations. Yeah, I'll do this, but yeah, I'll live for you, Lord, but and, we got these shirts out that say, "Oh yeah, holy." Oh, y'all gonna get mad at this. Holy, half hood, and that's nothing wrong with that. But and there's nothing wrong with that. But I said that to say, like, there are other shirts that say, "Oh yeah, I'm good as long as you don't try me." You know what I'm saying? So we seem to have this stipulation as if we are incapable of conquering the quest to deny flesh. Conquering the quest to deny flesh. Not just sexually, not just abstaining from drugs or alcohol. Yeah, that requires abstinence, but also it requires you to abstain from allowing yourself to get out of character. You all know I've been with fourth graders, or some of you know, I've been with fourth graders for the past 4 weeks. I've been substituting in that class 4 to 5 weeks, and it has been interesting. It has been interesting to say the least. And there, mind you, most of these children I've known for 4 years. So I've known them since they've been in first grade. But it's interesting to see how they develop, right? And I tell them often, I said, anytime I talk to them and I let them know, I said, anytime you find yourself acting out of character. Now, I asked them, I said, are you ignorant? They were like, no. And I explained them the definition of ignorance, right? Because we use the word, especially in the Black community, so freely. But I explained to them the true definition of ignorance. I said, are you ignorant? They would say, no. I said, are you stupid? No. Okay. I said, so why is it that we act the opposite of something we claim? Why is it that we allow someone else or something to take us out of character? And then they think about it and they say, oh, I see what you mean, Ms. Johnson. And I said, so instead of acting or responding to that person a certain way, what could you have done? Oh, I didn't even have to say nothing. Exactly. Or I didn't even have to, hit her back. Or I didn't even have to, and they'll catch themselves sometimes. I find now lately they've been catching themselves. We obviously have work to do, right? But they've been catching themselves. Ms. Johnson, that's my fault. Especially with their mouth. And the saints can relate to that. I know I can. Because this right here, the Bible talks about the tongue and how it's wild. So we have to tame it. And so there are times where just the past few weeks, people have talked to me crazy. And I couldn't say anything. And the things that I could say had to be pleasant. And I had to say it with a smile. Right? But it took me coaching myself and saying, no, don't act out of character. Or no, don't respond the way they think or they want you to respond, because that's going to give them what they really say. Oh, you ain't safe for real. That's going to give them the ammunition that they need to keep going and doing all these things. Right? But I had to learn that I can't just live for Christ with stipulations. I can't. I have to take the stipulations off. I have to say, oh yeah, I'll live for you, Lord, no matter what, whatever that looks like. And yesterday during Bible study, my pastor, and I knew this was confirming because of this. Yesterday during Bible study, my pastor was preaching about, denying our flesh and encouraging us to be strong in the Lord, especially in these end times, because he said there are going to be scenarios where people are even going to physically hurt you. I said, but wait, I don't want it. Right? Because I tell the kids, I said, people going to get tired of y'all hitting them. And I tell children, I said, you know what? Somebody going to find you. You hit the right person, they're going to knock you out. And I say that to say that they're going to get their lick back, right? I can't do that. That don't mean just come up and hit me. That's not what that means. However, I have to recognize that there are going to be some tests and some trials to where I have to sacrifice my conscience or my way of doing things. Christ was crucified, but before he was even taken to the cross, he was beaten. He was mocked, first of all. He went to trial for telling the truth. That's one thing I had to struggle with, especially recently. You will not tell me that I feel some type of way and I know I don't feel no type of way. You will not tell me that I said something or I did something and I know I didn't do it. That's a struggle for me. Because how are you going to sit up here and lie? I feel like the kids like, how, you lying though. And one thing they used to always tell me growing up, the only thing that'll make a lie stand is if you chase it. And I was like, yeah, I get all that, but I ain't even trying to hear that. So they lie. They about to catch these hands because they lying. Right? But they lied on Jesus. They beat him. They mocked him. He went to trial. We're in his Jesus year. This is Jesus year. So a lot of you, like me, are in your Jesus year, where there are going to be some crucifixions, where there's going to be some mockery, where there's going to be some beatings, whether they're verbal. I pray that none are physical. But we have people over, we have saints over in different countries who are losing their lives just for professing Christ, being beheaded for professing Christ. And now the Bible talks about how you're guaranteed in. If you die in the name of the Lord, oh yeah, you're in. But who's to say how that death happens? It may not happen immediately. They may get beaten to death, which means there's a process to it, which means the pain and the agony that you have to endure before death even comes can be unimaginable. But are we willing to go through that for someone who died for us? Are we willing to go through that for God or for Christ? Those are the things we have to weigh. We put this glamour on Jesus' year when we really have to own in on what Jesus' year really means. The sacrifice. The sacrifice? I have to sacrifice my feelings, realizing that people are not going to treat me right. People that I know, people that I may even care about. You may not get the same in return. But then realizing that it is not an obligation. They're not obligated. No one is obligated to love you. No one is obligated to treat you a certain way, especially when you treat them the right way. There is no obligation. The only obligation a person has is to do right according to your Savior. If you're professing Christ, you're professing Jesus, you have to do right because of who you're professing, because of what you're professing to live, who you're professing to live for. You can't shake that. That's inevitable. And that's where we find ourselves hindered. because we want to go but so far. We want to go but so far. And God is saying, no, I need to know you mean me for real. I need to know you love me for real. I need to know that what you're saying, yeah, you can sing. Yeah, you can play. Yeah, you can pray. Yeah, you can preach. But will you live it even when it is uncomfortable? Will you live it when it requires you to sacrifice your own will? Will you live it? And I'm talking all the in your might, physical, mental, emotion. Will you emotional? Will you really live it? Or will you deny me? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. Is living for Christ really worth me denying myself? Denying myself of being right? Denying myself of advocating for myself since nobody else does it? Denying myself of not saying what I want to say? In a scenario where a person is telling me I'm lying, a person is telling me that I'm something I'm not. Now, I'm not saying that every scenario will be that way. I've had scenarios where I've had to tell a person, even last week, a superior, excuse me, I owe you nothing. And I will not allow you to tell me that I am something I am not. Right? But the Lord allowed me to say that. So there are some scenarios where you will be able to say what you need to say with respect, with dignity, with integrity, godly integrity, mind you. Right? There are scenarios where you'll be able to, but there are a lot of scenarios, especially forthcoming, where you will not be able to do that. Well, I will not be able to do that. I had a person tell me, oh, it's obvious you have a problem with this person. I said, excuse me? Who? I don't even know what you're talking about. I haven't done anything to that person. They haven't done anything to me. As far as I'm concerned, they were fine. No, you got something. I said, okay. And I walked away. Are we willing to say, okay, and just walk away? Or say, okay, even when we can't walk away? In that scenario, I was able to walk away. But there may be some scenarios where I can't. Fingers all in my face. Now, God knows. Y'all, listen to me. I want y'all to know this is God, because TK, I promise you, people who know me, who know me, who've known me over the years, like who've seen me in my days before Christ, know that if any hand is in my face, she probably gonna go back broken, because there was just some things I didn't do, like I just couldn't get with that, right? But there are requirements, and we can't stay in the same place and claim to have salvation. We can't say, oh yeah, I live for Christ, I just don't grow. Or I live for Christ, but there's no evidence of that. Right? We're at the same level, but with no growth. There's no growth. That's not you can't be living for Christ if you are not growing. Because then you're telling me that Christ is stagnant. That Christ is incapable of bringing you above your issues. That Christ is incapable of bringing you beyond your trouble. It had to come to me first. That's what we're stating when we do that. Oh yeah, I'll put this. I'll stop smoking, but I ain't gonna stop drinking. That's a nice light. It's one of those things where it's a weight. There's like, oh yeah, well the Bible don't say we can't. The Bible don't say anything about this. The Bible say anything about that. But the Bible also says, "Be ye holy." I don't know if you can tell, but we don't have a lot of time left. We don't have a lot of time left. So why not abstain from things just to be good, just to be sure? There was an old song growing up. A song I used to hear growing up. Careless soul, he who would leave. For your life will soon be gone. Oh, how sad to face the judgment, so I'm prepared to meet thy God. Are these things on this earth worth you missing God? Are they? It had to come to me. I'm not coming for nobody. I'm simply telling you what the Lord told me to say. But I had to also do a self-evaluation. Is it worth me having the last word? Is me missing God worth me having the last? Is it worth it? No. Because to suffer in Christ is to reign. I may cry. I may be piping mad. And I'm not telling you you're not going to be mad, because I know I'm going to be mad. I have been upset. And about people, now there are some deep saints or some church folk that'll say, oh, you can't get mad. You can't get mad. The devil is a lie. The Lord gave us emotions for a reason. So there are moments when you will be upset, right? Absolutely. But it is how we respond to those emotions that makes us different from the world. Somebody cut me off, they didn't put their signal on, almost hit me. I promise you, I was driving to Indiana. I was driving to Indiana last Friday for my brother's surprise birthday party. And I was already upset because traffic was crazy. I could have got off earlier, but people was playing with my time. So I couldn't get off earlier. So I was really already pressed. Like, and I'm trying to get there. This guy, I'm in the fast lane. This guy, this is my car. This guy comes like this. No signal, no nothing. Don't even act like you don't even see me. Right? I had to do one of these. After I veered over, I had to do one of those, and I blow. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, what? I was so angry because that man literally ran me off the road. I was like, you know what? I was so upset I couldn't even look at him and say, you know how you look at somebody like, really? I couldn't even do that. I looked at him and I rolled my eyes. I think that may have been the hardest I've ever rolled my eyes in all my days, because I was so angry. I'm like, dude, you really almost killed me. Like, in Chicago traffic, granted, like, anybody who've ever driven to Chicago know, you in traffic, if you don't move out the way, they will hit you and run you over. So not only you running me off the road, but I have cars behind me. I have to keep up with traffic. Like, this is too much. Like, what are you doing? But I didn't cuss. I ain't lay on my horn. I did blow on my horn when he was coming over, but it was how I responded. Now, I could have chased him, because when I finally got to the side of him, this little old foreign guy, and he's just looking like. I'm like, yeah, idiot. But that could have gone another way. If I was waving a gun like, I'm about to go ahead, I'm about to shoot you, you really done messed with the wrong one. Would that have made me different from the world? No. We've become very lax. We've conformed a lot for a long time now. God is saying, hey, I have a requirement. And this is the requirement. And you guys are here. Yeah, you don't do these things, but there are a lot of things in between here that's causing you to miss the mark. And if you don't make it to where I am calling you to, you will miss me. Is it worth it? That's the question I really just want to leave with you all. And even myself. Is it worth it? I have to remind myself of this daily. I still smile and greet that person who don't like me, and I still don't know why. There are people who are going to hate you. Ask me how I know. Child, I can't tell you why these people don't like me. I don't know why. I really don't know. I haven't done anything to them. I have done nothing but been pleasant to them. still don't like me. Still, when I speak to him, where, what? Yeah, so I just wanted to, and I thank God because I know that it's the Lord. I know that it's the Lord. Because me, you talking to me like that, like, okay, hold on, who are you talking to? And then we going back and forth. Does that give God glory? No. And in fact, makes him shameful. Do I want to make him proud, or do I want to bring shame to his name? The people I work with know that I love God. They know that I live for Christ. They know that there's nothing I have to hide about that. They know. Some of them are friends with me on Facebook. They know my lifestyle. So when I'm upset, they tell now sometimes I go to my select few, excuse me, and I'll tell them like, yo, I am mad. Like, I can't believe. And they'll be like, yeah, but you got this. You got this. Right? I'm not saying I don't have those moments. But I can't let the enemy triumph over my emotions. I can't let him boast over my emotions. I can't. Because it doesn't bring God glory. My goal is to bring God glory. So again, the question for all of us is it worth it? Are the little weights or the big weights, are the weights worth it? The Bible says, lay aside every weight, all the sin and weight that so easily beset you. Are they worth it? Is it worth it saying, oh, that ain't my conviction? Even though you're being taught not to do certain things, oh, that ain't my conviction. It may not be let me help you understand. It may not be your conviction, but you're now operating in disobedience because you're not obeying the leadership that's over you. If you don't agree with that, your spirit is not vexed by what they're saying, maybe you should find another ministry to help you grow in Christ. Or maybe you should lay aside that weight. You have to decide. I'm going to tell you this part, and I'm done. I told my children, I call them my children. I'm like, son, why would you? I'm not your son. I said, baby, it's figurative. Like, it's not. I know you're not my son, but you're still a son. They're like, oh, okay. But I would tell them, I said, baby, you guys have to understand, cause, effect. Everything that we do has an effect. So no matter what it is, whether it's good, sometimes we reap good, sometimes we reap the enemy attacking us even because we're doing good, just because we're doing good, right? But we need to count that all joy. That's what the Bible says, to count it all joy. But with that, just think about it. Just think about it. Just think about it. I just got a message in my public. Hold on. I thought I made it public, but clearly I didn't. So hold on. Let me go make it public so I can see y'all talking back to me. 1 second. Oh, a lot of y'all on here. I am so sorry. What y'all saying? Right. Let me click it here. Hold on. I don't know why it's not public. I changed it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Right, Mom. Hey. Not responsible for how people treat me. Not. Hey, Jackie. Yes. I see you guys now. We'll just have to rig it because I don't know why. Thank you, Tasha, for helping me. I don't know why. It isn't. I don't know. But yeah. So, is it worth it? Is the sin, is the weight, carrying the weight, and allowing that to be your go-to? Is you saying, no, it's not my conviction. I don't care. That's y'all. I don't have no problem. Is it worth it? Is it worth you missing Christ? Hey, is it worth it? The song, oh heaven, heaven is mine. Is it really in your heart? Is it really in your view? When you think about it, all this stuff is going to perish. It's not just going to be. It's going to go away. It's not going to be here anymore. Do you want to perish with the things that you can't let go of? I'm just a messenger. But it hit me first. It hit me first. But just recognize, pay attention to the times. Pay attention to the days. The world. It's not the same. This is not the same day that I experienced growing up, where they would say, oh, God is on his way. Jesus is coming back. Jesus is coming back. He's on his way back. He's coming back. I can feel him being closer. I really, and I don't think I've ever shared that with anybody, but I can really feel. Jackie, how dismissive are we? That right there. I can feel, it's like I can feel it. I feel it in the air. I feel it. I'm not saying he's coming back tomorrow, but I've definitely felt the shift, as in the world is soon to wither away. Christ is soon to return. I mean soon. Saints would say, listen, oh yeah, he on his way back. My pastor, he's always funny, but he says, he always finds a way to bring laughter. It's just who he is. He said, you act like he in traffic or something, sitting on the right hand of God. He's not technically on his way, right? He's not to be on your way. It's to actually be in transit. He's not. Oh, I'm getting up. Oh, I'm sitting back down. And it brought laughter to it, but it brought clarity at the same time. But he is soon to return. He is soon to return, and I pray that I am ready. Furthermore, I pray that must be sober, Jackie. Must be sober. I pray that I am ready. I pray that you are ready. But best believe, as I'm giving you these tidbits, I'm working on me. I don't need anybody to tell me that I noticed. You ain't got to notice. I know the Lord for myself. I know what he tells me. I know when he's telling me, you shouldn't have done that, or you don't need to do that, or you don't need to give the enemy that much space. You don't need to give him any space at all. You giving him space when you let that person take you there. You giving him space. He speaks to me. I pray that we are all ready. But my biggest question tonight is it worth it? That's it. Is it worth it? I pray that you are contemplating and that your mind is reassured that this is the walk that you should be taking. And although it's a sacrifice, it's not a sacrifice in comparison to what the Lord has sacrificed for us. The things he's asking us to do is nothing in comparison to what he's gone through. It's nothing. It's minuscule in comparison to what he has been through for us, of people who denied him, or people who didn't even know who he was, didn't even care to know. We don't need you. Jackie, don't you start. But this light affliction, the sacrifice. Think about that. Think about that when you're caught in repetitive acts of sin. You sin you can't shake. Jesus is above that. Jesus can bring you out of that. Those strongholds that you seem you can't get rid of. Jesus can bring you out of that. But it requires diligence on our part. It requires diligence on our part. We have to diligently seek him. Never ending. You can make it out. All you have to do is make a choice. And then diligently seek the Lord. I'm not saying you're going to get it every time. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect. Because if you're perfect, you shouldn't be here no how. You should already be in heaven somewhere. I'm not perfect, obviously. But we're striving to get to the point of perfection Christ is calling us to. You can do it. But you have to choose. He gives us a choice. He gives us a choice. But again, is it worth it? I pray that tonight you are encouraged to go after God like there is no end. Because now, if we don't seek him now, we're not going to be able to in the world. When he comes and those are left behind. Those that are left behind will suffer. Suffering. You have to go through literal hell with no relief. The world will be worse than what it is now. Can you imagine what worse would look like? I can't imagine worse. I don't want to be here for worse. No. No. But whatever you're going through, God can bring you out. Ask me how I know. What did that say? Am I a fake Christian? Satan, the Lord rebuke you. The only thing fake about anything that I'm saying is for me to say that I'm perfect and I've arrived and that I have done no wrong. But one thing I will never do is deny Christ. Deny how he operates in my life. Deny how he keeps me. I will never deny Christ. And when you come to any page I'm on, you're going to feel Christ. Because Christ eludes from me. How about the not my side? He eludes from me. Glory be to God. Because I let him. I allow him to be Christ in my life. I allow him to be the head of my life. So no. And I'm not a Christian, I'm a saint. There's a difference. There is a difference. So again, I hope that you, young sir, or ma'am, or whoever you are, that just so happen to be on my post, welcome. I pray that you feel God, that you get to know God for yourself. And that the Lord comes into your mind and and subdues you, pulls you to Christ, and pulls you to salvation, pulls you into his fold. I pray that you experience saints in real relationship with Christ. I pray that God touches and heals you wherever you are. And I pray that God gets the glory out of my life and yours for the rest of the days to come until his return. I do know that I love you all. I do know that I ain't going nowhere until the Lord sees fit. And I do know that I intend to stay on the wall until the Lord calls me home. Listen, I love y'all. Y'all be encouraged. Stay with the Lord. Stay with him. It's too late to turn around now. It's too late to turn around now. Be encouraged. Know that I love you and you all. Jackie, I love you. I support you. I pray that you're doing well, girlfriend. And we'll be back. But yes, so continue to live out your life on purpose, the way God purposed you to live. And I will be back next week. We will be back next week. We'll see what the Lord does and what he has to say and who he will have with us. All right, you all be encouraged. Love you.